You are looking live.
Here comes the play. Goodman at the free throw line. Jumper.
He broke his ankles. He is Houdini.
Mickey Mantle don't care about you, so why should you care about him? Nobody cares.
That's not a good call. No.
You don't like that call.
I don't like that call.
Woo, 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 woo. Not so fast.
As I said, I want to get to my thoughts on Cam Newton and Deshaun Watson, two big quarterbacks who have a lot to bring to any team that signs them, and yet none of them are set to play for Week 1. Cam Newton got released by the Patriots a couple weeks ago. Everybody knows that. That's not new for anybody, I hope. But I want to get to my thoughts on him, because he and I mean, I'm not saying this like, oh, I've spoken to Cam Newton, but there's just something telling me that he wants to be a starting quarterback. Because if he was comfortable with being a backup quarterback, he'd be one on the New England Patriots right now, right? There's no way, there is no universe where the Patriots pick Jarrett Stidham to be the backup over Cam Newton, right? I bet you Bill Belichick sat down with Cam Newton and said, Cam, we're going with Mac Jones, and we'd like you to be the backup. And Cam Newton's like, nope. And Cam Newton knows that he's got what it takes to be a starting quarterback, right? We all saw what he did with Carolina, and we all saw what he did with New England last year in a team that didn't have too much going for them. It still gave him a fighting chance. And so Cam Newton still can be a starting quarterback. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And that's why he's not a backup on the Patriots right now. So for any of you saying, oh, Cam Newton should go sign with any of these teams, like, you know, I guess the Broncos, the Cowboys, whatever, and say, oh, he'd be a really good backup. If Cam Newton wanted to be a backup, he'd be one right now at the New England Patriots. So there's no way that any team's going to sign him as a backup, because Cam Newton is not going to sign with a team to be a backup quarterback unless he majorly changes his mind. And if he does, I think he'd be I think he would be extremely underselling himself. But for teams that I think that could sign Cam Newton as soon as possible, I think the obvious choice is the Houston Texans, right? Because of Deshaun Watson, right? Deshaun Watson probably not going to play this season. At least that's what I've been gathering. That's what I've gathered, is that Deshaun Watson most likely not going to play this season. And they've got Tyrod Taylor as their starting quarterback. Yes, you heard me correctly. Tyrod Taylor. And no disrespect against Double T-Mobile. Right, he's had his good seasons with the Bills. He gave them a fighting chance before Josh Allen came to town. Tyrod Taylor did mediocre when he was on the Browns. He was the backup to Joe Flacco for a number of years on the Ravens. He was supposed to be the starting quarterback on the Chargers before he had a medical malfunction. I still don't know what really happened there, but Cam Newton, Tyrod Taylor being the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans, it's one of those things where, okay, they might win 5 games. You put Cam Newton on that team, and all of a sudden I'm saying 8 and 9, I guess would be, right? It wouldn't be 8 and 8 because they got the extra game. It'd be 8 and 9, 9 and 8, right? They give themselves a fighting chance. And in that division, right? No, I'm not really sure how the Colts are going to do. I think time will tell whether Carson Wentz is going to be gonna go back to his MVP form, or if he's gonna be the same guy we saw in the last few years. The Jaguars, right? Trevor Lawrence, rookie quarterback. Not really sure how he's gonna fare in his rookie season. Jaguars still have some work to do in other positions as well. It's not gonna solely be on Trevor Lawrence. The Titans, obviously the front runner for that division, I think. Tannehill, Henry, Julio, all those guys, right? Obviously, the Titans are the front runner in that division, but with the extra wild card spot, and it's going to be tough to get that extra wild card spot. The AFC is going to be. This might be one of the most competitive years for the AFC. So for the Houston Texans to give themselves a fighting shot at the wild card, it's going to be tough. I don't think Cam Newton takes them from from being garbage to being a wild card team. I don't think that's really the case. But, Cam Newton is going to give them – I'm not saying Cam Newton takes them to a wild card, but Cam Newton gives them a fighting shot, right? And I know that the Texans didn't want to trade Deshaun Watson because, the legal issues, obviously. But the other thing is, who wants to trade away their star quarterback in case things kind of get worked out, which I doubt they're going to get worked out, but who knows? If you sign Cam Newton, you can kind of start to solidify more serious trade talks. And, I think if any team's going to sign Cam Newton in the next 2 weeks, the Houston Texans are definitely the front runner. The other team I think I could see Cam Newton signing with is the Miami Dolphins, right? Tua Tagovailoa, or Tua turn the ball over, as some people like to call him. Tua's not there yet. We saw him struggle last year. And, if you read my article in The Snapper, I said most of this in the article. But, Tua's just not there yet. And, they had Ryan Fitzpatrick as kind of that veteran guy to kind of, to fall back on, right? And I think Fitzpatrick gave Tua a lot in terms of leadership and mentorship. And now they don't have that because Fitzpatrick's on the Washington football team, just to be proper about it. So, they don't have that veteran mentorship, that veteran fallback option in Fitzpatrick anymore. They don't have it in anybody, really. I mean, I don't even know who the backup to Tua is right now. So I think signing Cam Newton, right, if Tua were to struggle, you can definitely go to Cam Newton. If Tua's struggling, you can definitely sign Cam Newton and say, hey, Cam, we're going to kind of have you work with Tua, because I think Tua's game style is more similar to Cam Newton's than it is Ryan Fitzpatrick's. And I think maybe you can attribute some of Tua's struggles to the fact that they were using Ryan Fitzpatrick to kind of, he was kind of shadowing with Fitzpatrick. Where if he shadows with Cam Newton, I think you get to see some more similar, things that are more similar to Tua's style in play than it was with Fitzpatrick. So, I think also in that division, I mean, the Bills, obviously the front runner. Jets kind of are up and coming. Dolphins and Patriots, we know where the Patriots are right now. I'm not really sure how Mac Jones will fare in his rookie season with that team. And Miami, I don't expect Miami to do too much with Tua at quarterback based on what I saw last year. I mean, he could always improve, but the word on the street is that they're not thrilled with him. And I pretty much gathered that from the fact that they were trying to trade for Deshaun Watson. Anytime you're trying to trade for a star quarterback when you have a rookie quarterback that was supposed to be your future guy, things probably aren't going so well. So, I think Cam Newton, that makes sense for the Dolphins to sign Cam Newton. So that's another team I could see doing it. And then some teams that are kind of not really front runners, but if they did sign Cam Newton, it would make sense. In the New York Giants and the Washington football team. So the Giants, right now are definitely rolling with Daniel Jones. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But Daniel Jones, I mean, he's had his struggles, right? They went with, for God's sake, they went with Colt McCoy in some points of last season, right? So, I mean, anytime you choose Colt McCoy over your guy, over quote your guy, things probably aren't going super well. So if Daniel Jones has similar struggles to that to last year, I think Cam Newton, I could see Cam Newton signing with the Giants. Think of all the things they could do with Cam Newton and Saquon Barkley in that backfield. That would be crazy. I think that makes sense. The Washington football team is definitely one of those teams that I don't, obviously not a front runner, but it would be something that, they signed him. Okay, I can kind of see where they're going with that. Again, I don't think that they're going to sign him right now. I don't think they're going to sign him within the first 3 weeks. But Ryan Fitzpatrick seems like the guy right now. He could always get hurt. I mean, anybody can get hurt. if maybe he struggles. I think they've got Taylor Heineke still. Who was the other guy they got? I think Alex Smith retired, didn't he? So, that's another team that I could possibly see them signing him. Maybe not right now, maybe not next week, but middle of the season if it comes out, Washington football team signs Cam Newton. Okay, that makes sense for me. As I said, if he was okay with being a backup quarterback right now, he'd be with the New England Patriots. He'd be one on the Patriots staff. But it's clear to me, at least, that he wants to be a starting quarterback. So, I think that if there are some other teams where, I think Texans, Dolphins, Giants football team are the teams that I would see signing Cam Newton in the first 3 to 5 weeks of the season if he is signed in the early going of the season. If he doesn't get signed and he kind of falls and it's week 8, it's week 10, and Cam Newton's still sitting on the couch, there are a few other teams that I could see signing him in the middle of the season. The Cincinnati Bengals, I think, are one because that offensive line is really bad. Right, they're in bad shape in Cincy. They went with Jamar Chase instead of getting a offensive lineman. Joe Burrow is going to spend another season running for his life if he doesn't get hurt. If he does get hurt, I could see Cam Newton being a solid signing to give them, to keep them competitive. The AFC North is going to be a very competitive division once again. So, I don't think the Bengals, with or without Joe Burrow, are going to be a wild card team by any means, but you always want to compete, right? There's no, at least most teams don't tank, right, at the beginning of the season. You always want to compete, and with or without Joe Burrow, you want to compete if you're the Bengals. And if Joe Burrow goes down, I could see Cam Newton signing with the Bengals. New York Jets, Zach Wilson. Who really knows whether he's going to be a superstar or not? Word on him is he's actually going to be pretty good. But time will tell, right? The preseason is the preseason. The offseason is the offseason. That doesn't mean too much when you get into the regular season. Things could turn upside down for you. So if he goes down, if he gets hurt, obviously, but if he struggles, I could see Cam Newton, them bringing in Cam to maybe mentor him a little bit, maybe get them back on track a little bit. Because again, that division is not wide open, but there's definitely some. It's definitely not that division's definitely not a done deal ahead of the season, right? It's not like the AFC West where you're saying, oh man, the Chiefs are the favorites. Or the NFC East even, saying, oh, the Cowboys are the favorites, or the NFC South, oh, the Buccaneers are definitely the favorites, right? I'm not going into this. Obviously the Bills are like the favorites, but teams are going to give them a good fight. There's no doubt about that. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, he looked really sharp last night. I'm not saying they're going to sign Cam Newton and have him start over Dak Prescott. Not by any means. I'm not saying that at all. But, Dak Prescott could go down. He could get hurt again. We saw a few times where he got hurried last night. I know they were without Zach Martin, their best starting O-lineman. But, who knows? Things could turn upside down for the Cowboys in a matter of moments. And that seems to always happen for them, doesn't it? Things are going well, and then, boom, something happens, right? Last year it was Dak Prescott going down. In years prior, it was just that they couldn't finish games out, and we kind of saw that a little bit last night where they just couldn't finish the game. They couldn't finish the deal. So, Cam Newton is a guy that I could see going to Dallas if Dak Prescott goes down, because I don't think Cowboys fans want to sit through another season of Ben DiNucci like they did at the end of last year, right? No, I don't think anybody's, excited to see that happen again. And then the last couple teams, Falcons and Broncos. Matt Ryan, right? How much longer is he going to play? I think he's about reached his done point. I would say, people are saying, oh, Matt Ryan's going to be really good this year, right? No, stop. Matt Ryan is not going to be, people are saying, oh, Matt Ryan's going to have a really good year, right? Matt Ryan's prime is done and over with. I think they need to start looking at a future quarterback. Cam Newton may be good for this season if Matt Ryan has an awful season. If Matt Ryan's atrocious this year, Cam Newton might be a guy that is worth signing for them. And the Denver Broncos, Teddy Bridgewater right now is their guy. I know they've still got Drew Lock. I'm not crazy on Drew Lock. I don't know if Denver is. And Teddy Bridgewater, right? He's had his injury issues. He's bounced around a little bit. And if he gets hurt again, Cam Newton's a guy that I think is worth signing if he's not already gone at that point.